I see you shiver with anticipation.
When the amendment bill was published in June last year, we sent in a PIA request, and we wanted to know, because it was part of, we examined the bill, and then we examined the supposed research behind it, both the socioeconomic impact assessment report as well as the Wits School of Governance report. It's quite obvious that something strange happened. The Wits School of Governance report, which is decent, proper research, conducted by professionals, using proper data sets, came to a certain conclusion, and the conclusion they came to is it's not the bill. It's not firearms legislation that's the problem. The problem is that there's no decent policing. So of course the police weren't very keen to hear that. So they sat on it, they hid the bill away, they hid the research away from us for years and years and years, 6 years I think. They hid the research away from us, and they denied that it was out there, and until it was forced to light by a PIA request, a Promotion of Access to Information Act request. So this came out. Then they created what they called a desktop study. So the secretary had, I don't know, a task team in his office who then they cherry-picked certain conclusions and certain statements out of the Wits School of Governance report and slammed those out of context into their own version of the report, which said exactly the opposite to what the actual research said. Guys, that's known as fiddling the books. You know, it's been discussed here on your platform before, Lynette, by people like Ricky Mann, who tore it to pieces and said, look, it just doesn't, the conclusions they're coming to just don't at all.
The research doesn't make sense.
So when we saw this thing come out in June of last year, and we considered this, and we considered where it was supposed to come from, we realized that there's something else was going on. So we formulated a Promotion of Access to Information Act request, which we sent through to the police, and we said to them, come on guys, show us your hand. What's going on here?
Who, what and where?
Who, what and where? Who did you meet with? When did you meet with them? What did they say? What led you to this conclusion, to this bill? What delivered this bill to us? What process? The police ignored us. Then in November, they popped up with this webinar idea. This was run by the Secretary of Police, by the way. And they said, well, what we asked you in the previous PIA request, but nevertheless, another PIA request. Here's a more detailed PIA request. These are the documents. In order for us to engage with you on behalf of an efficient way, in order for us to make a difference, to make something, to have a decent conclusion to a discussion, we have to know what these basic things are before we go into it. What are the bases of discussion? What are we talking about? So we asked him for it again, essentially, all of the stuff. They then cancelled the webinar. And they said to us, okay, so because we've cancelled the webinar, we're not going to give you this information.
What are they hiding?
Well, what are they hiding indeed? And we kind of know what they're hiding. We kind of know what the hidden hand is behind this. We kind of know what's behind the curtains. An unhealthy relationship with a variety of parties, a certain NGO, other certain parties who really shouldn't, who are referees in the process of firearm licensing, who shouldn't be players in the game. We know these people were involved, but we want them to admit this. Oh, sorry. And now we have the Rottweiler voicing his opinion of the matter. And his voice on the matter is based on the fact that he's rolled his ball to my feet. Oh. And now he wants me to throw his ball for him. So excuse me for a moment while I keep the... Uji, do you want me to...
No,
Uji, no. Now he wants to play with the ball first. Okay, you play with the ball. The cameraman's desk. Okay, that's cool. Let's see how long this lasts.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we know they need to tell us. They need to admit it to us, and they must, and they must. In terms of the Promotion of Access to Information Act, we are owed that information.
Absolutely.
We deserve that information. We need to know who's pulling the levers.
I was part of that.
Well, yes, we discussed that. I think the Freedom of Information Act. We were part of the process, so we know actually what the thinking is behind that. Why, as a democracy, you need to know on what basis your leaders are making decisions for you.
Absolutely.
So anyway, so because they cancelled the webinar, they thought, well, we can forget about the PIE request now. Sorry, that doesn't go away. So we've then on various occasions got back to the police and said, well, we're still waiting. We're still waiting. This is the ball. The ball is going to be thrown. Oh, look at that dog. There we go. Did you catch that on camera?
I think so.
He's got great ball skills. He would do Bafana proud. Anyway, so the where were we? Okay, so on various occasions we've again asked for this information. We've reminded them that the PIE request is still outstanding. They then in the beginning, in January of this year, they put out an invitation to bilaterals. Now, bilaterals are essentially, they invite individual parties to meet with them, and they discuss things with individual parties that they should actually be discussing with everybody. So we're not a fan of bilaterals, and we're not a fan of bilaterals for the following reasons. And one of them is neatly illustrated by something that came out of the bilateral that was conducted on Tuesday afternoon.
Sorry, guys.
And what happened as a result of that is at the end of the meeting, one of the directors from the civilian secretariat said to certain parties at the meeting, "Oh no, we're busy discussing this in bilaterals with GOSA as well." Now we've tried to confirm this by contacting that director this morning on WhatsApp. So we've got the 2 blue ticks to show that he's actually read the WhatsApp messages, and I think Hannes may have that queued up to play. Well, there it is. You can see the 2 blue ticks, and I very politely said, Director Ntwana, please tell me, did you say this? And I quoted what he was said to have said.
Because that came out from the other party.
That came out from one of the other parties. Well, you know,
Which saying that we have already spoke to them.
This is the most disappointing thing about bilaterals. We don't know who is involved in which meeting.
And what is said where.
And there's no report back to anybody. So organizations who are supposed to act for their members aren't reporting back to their members about what they say in these bilaterals. And that makes us very uncomfortable.
Makes me uncomfortable.
We need to know who's saying what. But I must tell you that out of this bilateral that was held on Tuesday this week, it seems that we have had a report back from 2 parties that were at the meeting, one of whom is Martin Hood, and the other of whom is Dr. Herman Els from NatShoot. And they've given us quite comprehensive feedback. And that feedback is to the effect that basically they've told the Secretariat that they're rejecting the bill out of hand. They're not prepared to discuss any of the details of the bill. They would like to discuss the failures of the police in terms of process, in terms of in terms of why every DFO has got a different story about everything, etc., etc. So they're punting it back into the police's court and saying, you know, you sort your own house out first. And we appreciate that very much. But we don't know everything that's been said. We don't know all of the parties that have met.
And
I know
there's
been meetings over the last couple of months. And this is the first time we've had any kind of substantive feedback from these meetings. And that worries us.
So it's this discussions in smoke-filled rooms behind closed doors.
Exactly.
And
that.
why?
No. The police many years ago tried the tactic of making everybody that attended the meeting sign an attendance register. And at the head of the attendance register, there was a whole bunch of fine print. And the fine print was a non-disclosure agreement. So sorry, and he caught it before it hit the floor. My boy. Anyway, so the fine print was a non-disclosure agreement saying that if you sign this document, the attendance register, you agree not to disclose the contents. Now, we're all public organizations. We don't act in our own behalf. We act on behalf of our members. We cannot keep the contents of a discussion that we're holding on behalf of our members from our members. We cannot. The police cannot expect us to.
Why are they doing this big divide and rule?
So this is the other problem, is now you get into this divide and conquer and divide and rule strategy. It's whenever you see on a cop show, when they arrest a couple of suspects, they take them back to the police station to interview them or to interrogate them, and they put them in separate rooms away from each other, and they interrogate them separately. And then they go to the one and they say, hey, your buddy next door's just admitted to this and that and the other, and he's copped a deal and he's got the deal now. And then they go to the other one and they say this, and they get the two to play against each other.
Because that's what they did with saying that GOSA'S already talked to them.
Well, so exactly. So GOSA. So on Tuesday, we can't get Director Mtwana to admit openly that that's what he said. He's aware of my request to him, and he's ignoring it at this stage, and that raises suspicions as well. That makes me wonder, what's he hiding? So we've asked him directly, did you say this? Did you say that GOSA was involved in negotiations with you? Because we aren't. We've made that quite plain. Until such time as we've got our PIA requests, we cannot talk to the Civilian Secretary of Police.
They've invited you again back your
yes,
end of May.
So I think that Tanis has got that queued up as well. Letter this week from the acting secretary, because the previous secretary, of course, his contract came to an end at the end of last year. So we have an acting secretary, Romaru, at the moment. And on behalf of Mr. Romaru, we received an invitation. Well, not an invitation. We received two things. We received something asking us very kindly, if please won't we withdraw our PIA request. Now that's hugely unprocedural. You don't, when a public body asks a government body for that information, in a formal PIA request, following the correct process, you cannot say to them, oh, sorry, please can you not ask us that? You don't get to ask that. In the second place, we're a public body. We're a properly constituted non-profit organization. We serve the public benefit. Why would we withdraw a PIA request if it hasn't been satisfied? So anyway, so no, we're going to have to do it. We're going to have to enforce it through the courts. Quite simply, we need that information in order to properly consider our position, in order to properly participate in the process of public participation. So we're going to have to go via the courts to extract that information from the secretary, and this might delay the process. Who knows how long? By years, maybe.
In that letter that was up there, which is on the GOSA Facebook page.
Yes, everything's on the GOSA Facebook group if you want to have a look.
So, are you going to meet with them? And if you meet with them, what is the process?
So they've asked us for a meeting. They've asked the entire GOSA Exco. They've implored us in their own language. They've implored us to reconsider our position and to please meet with them. Now, we can't if we don't have the information that we need. You know, we can't walk blindly into this meeting. It's not going to serve our members. We're here to serve our members. So that's the one point. And the second point is that if we do attend a meeting as the exco of GOSA, we'll attend the meeting and we'll insist that they produce the information that we've asked for in the PIRE request before we have any substantive discussions with them. And that I'm afraid is the bottom line. We are going to hold the line on this. For us, it's a non-negotiable. It's not something that we're prepared to overlook. So if the secretary wants to meet with us so that we can explain to his office in great and laborious detail exactly why we need the information, we will do that, but we expect the information before we're going to sit down with them and talk to them in any way, shape or form about this bill. As far as we're concerned, this bill is a dead letter at the moment. And I just want to refer you, so the minutes of the Parliamentary Portfolio Committee meeting on the 24th of November last year, so right at the end of November. At that stage, the Portfolio Committee knew of the webinar and of the withdrawal of the webinar, and they knew of the stance that we had taken. So I'm just going to skip to one of the instructions by the Portfolio Committee or recommendations. The chairperson recommended that the committee should ask the Civilian Secretary for the Police Services to go back and consult further on the Firearms Control Amendment Bill. And this is the important point, so that there is sufficient consensus building between the different parties before it comes back to Parliament. So this is courtesy of Martin Hood. Thank you very much, Martin. So the Civilian Secretary, the Portfolio Committee, the parliamentarians understand the process. They understand what we're about, and they're on our side on this. And they're saying they're not going to look at this bloody bill until such time as there's consensus.
But they're doing the bilaterals to seem to be doing something.
To tick a box.
To tick a box.
We're 100% convinced this is just box ticking.
It's box ticking.
This
is so
that they can go back to the civilians, to the Portfolio Committee and say, well, we consulted with X and Y and Z and with GOSA.
But they've not even contacted all of the relevant parties yet, have they?
Well, we don't know because they won't tell us who they're talking to.
Why?
Exactly.
Here's something fishy, I'm sorry.
Something's wrong. So yeah, guys, I'm gonna so we started this little segment with a 1970s reference to pop culture, in the words of Dr. Frankenfurter. We're going to end this little segment. We're going to end this a little bit up in the air because we don't know where this is going at this stage. All we can tell you is that we're fighting.
The documents so far is all available on the Facebook
The documents
page.
are available on our Facebook group. We are fighting, and in the words of one of the greatest states ladies of the 20th century, this lady's not for turning.
The lady's not for turning.
Any case, okay, so Girls on Fire event is coming up.
Yeah.
Paul said this,
sorry.
right? Now I've been watching it from this side. Paul can't see it, I
saw the scrappy track playing, and I thought,
I think he's taken it out, so he stopped.
Okay.
For the Girls on Fire event, we're still looking for some cash sponsorship. There's a couple of things that we still need to pay for.
Yeah.
So please.
So I must say that, and I've been helping out with this on occasion, and the donors that have come forward, the sponsors have been absolutely amazing. We've got a deluge of prizes to give out to the ladies. There's services that have come in from everybody, but as is the case, I think, with a lot of the South African economy at the moment,
there's certain things that we have to pay for.
People are cash poor. Unfortunately, this event requires a lot of cash. We have to pay caterers. We have to pay venue hire. Those are cash things which you know, no matter, we've I think we're up to seven firearms are going to be either raffled or given away to winners of various categories. It's amazing. I mean, the stuff is just poured in. The sponsors have been amazing, but we require cash to pay the security. We need cash to pay ER24. The medals. We need, you know, so a lot of things do require cash. So this is a plea to you guys out there. If you think we're doing good work, if you want to have know that you've done something good, please look up Girls on Fire. I think we'll put the links in the comments below the video. Please get in touch with us or send us some cash via PayFast or something like that. It really goes to a good cause. In a couple of weeks, we're going to have a fantastic empowerment event for the women, and it's going to attract a lot of attention.
I just actually want to say one of the ladies that won one of our awards last year. Yes. She has grown, and she's one of our. She's come back and she's actually
so this is I'm gonna give a bit of more detail on that, but not too much detail. So every year we have what we call the Fighting Spirit Award, and that's for people that are prepared to stand up for themselves, that have suffered some kind of a tragedy or an injury, and who pick themselves up. You know, we always say that doesn't matter how many times you get knocked down, you just have to stand up one more time. And she stood up, and she's pretty much taken control of her life. She was awarded the Fighting Spirit Award last year. She got in touch with us last week and said, "Can I come and see you?"
So she will be on the range.
And she came through to Lynette, and she sat down with Lynette, and she said, "Listen, I feel that I need to give back. I need to be involved in this. This is uplifting. It's empowering." In any case, so she's going to be on the range on the 2nd of April as one of the range officers, and that's tremendous. I mean, that's picking somebody out of the crowd, rewarding them for something, and having them give back. That's absolutely amazing.
And I actually also just want to congratulate Ant. Do you want to tell him that our office manager?
So many of you will have been in touch with Ant, our office manager. So Ant was busy doing a part correspondence management course at Damlin.
Business management.
And she's done very, very well.
I mean, like really
she's
excellent.
Done spectacularly well over the last year and a bit. It seems that she's done so well that Damlin has agreed to convert her diploma course into a BCom degree.
It's a big thing.
So she's going to actually she's now, it's going to take her a couple of years more of work, of course, but she's now being enrolled as a
not even finishing the diploma course.
Not even finishing the diploma course. They're going directly from next week. She starts on the BCom degree course at Damlin. So we're tremendously proud of her.
We're very proud of Ant.
Another empowerment story.
Absolutely. She's a flippin' awesome girl.
Guys, from my side, have a great weekend.
The same year. Thank you.
Scrappy the Land Rover has lots of friends. Come play with us, the fun never ends. We're gun buddies, we learn gun safety. It's fun and easy, just like 1, 2, 3. If you see a gun, you shouldn't be afraid. You're a gun buddy and you'll be okay. So gun buddies, what does Scrappy say? Stop, don't touch, call a parent, walk away. Someone has a gun they keep in their room. Don't touch it or it will go boom! Scrappy knows what's best, so listen girls and boys. Guns are not bad, but guns are not toys. If you see a gun, you shouldn't be afraid. You're a gun buddy and you'll be okay. So gun buddies, what does Scrappy say? Stop, don't touch, call a parent, walk away. A friend invites you to come and play. He tells you to touch a gun. No, that's not okay. Scrappy knows what's best, so listen girls and boys. Guns are not bad, but guns are not toys. If you see a gun, you shouldn't be afraid. You're a gun buddy and you'll be okay. So gun buddies, what does Scrappy say? Stop, don't touch, call a parent, walk away. If you see a gun, you shouldn't be afraid. You're a gun buddy and you'll be okay. So gun buddies, what does Scrappy say? Stop, don't touch, call a parent, walk away.